Oh, okay, guys, I'm here. Late, tired, but I'm here. Come on, connect in, YouTube. There we go. No, I want to see this so I can. Why won't you enlarge on my own page? Ah. On my there we go. Page. Hello, hello. Sorry about the coughing. I have a feeling we're going to have to put up with that all night. I kind of wore myself out yesterday, and the dust and my brother's cigarettes are getting to me. Cough drops. You know, it's bad. I brought the whole bag. Hello, Angela, Nettie, Robin. I'm just really getting congested. It's allergy overload. It's also not just because my brother has been taking and smoking with his bedroom door open, which then filters it through the rest of the closed up house, which bothers my breathing. But all the dust from the black hole room, even though I've been wearing a mask, the dust is getting to me. But I also have leaf mold allergies. So this early spring stuff where you get a 60-degree day, but there's still a lot of leaves on the ground, you get a mold bloom. And it's the kind I'm allergic to. So I get it in the very early spring, and then I get it in the fall. And so I just have to be careful that it doesn't turn into bronchitis, because it just gets all through here, all through the throat and down, gets all gunky. Oh, Sharon, your back's been bothering you? Hi, Tia Fane. Oh, thank goodness I have tomorrow off, because tonight work was just nuts. You know it's bad in any convenience store when there are 3 people in the deli making things. One trying to keep up making coffee and drinks, and you're the only register person, and there's nobody to come help you because there are 3 of them in the deli. It was that kind of night for 90% of the night from 5 o'clock on. You'd have thought it was, hot summer night with a football game at the local high school down the street. No, I don't know what was going on, but it was just kind of crazy. I see Purple Love and Tina and Katie. Hi, Katie. And Katie, thank you. Thank you for letting them know on some of the earlier channels that I was going to be late tonight, because I just knew I was not. I knew when I left for work, because I don't have anything numbered. I got a tray full of glass next to me. I don't have any of it numbered. I don't have my list written down. It just didn't happen. I couldn't. I was so tired last night. I fell asleep without getting the heating pad on my knee. So when I woke up, my right knee would not bend. Couldn't get out of bed real well because the knee just wouldn't bend. So that was a little problematic. So I don't think I actually got up until about 12:30 in the afternoon. What is this? This is March 11th. So Prince something? You got some tea I recommended? Which one? Turmeric? Oh, Sharon. Oh, darling. I've had those. Those are nasty and they hurt. No, I didn't. Paul is Philly Flipper. I didn't forget about you guys. Oh, Perfecting Pearls. Did you find Prince of Wales? I love that one. And none of the grocery stores near me carry it. So I have a hard time finding it. It's made by Twinings. Comes in a black box, and it's Prince of Wales blend. I love it. It's my favorite one. Oh, you're liking the declutter the black hole? Because we all call them, like, there's this phrase of calling them a death pile, which just annoys me. You know, I've had enough. I have a house full because of death. I don't want to think of it like that. I really don't. So, you know, we got Warehouse 13 behind me, and this is a giant resource pile. But like that one room, I haven't been in that room in a long, long time. I don't think I've been in that room since Mom died. So that room's been full like that for probably 10 years. And oh, Nettie, it's not spelled whale like the sea mammal. It's Wales like in the country. Wales. So that might be why you had a hard time finding it. So, but oh wow. Philly Flipper, yeah. I'll give you more of a ceramics and pottery education tomorrow. So the last time, one of the times I stopped over at Philly Flippers to drop stuff off, since he's kindly letting me have some warehouse space. He let me go through this stash he had where he just didn't know what some of it was. He has a piece of Stengel pottery, which is this really lovely tulip planter. And that's what they call it. The style of it is called a tulip. And it's only about yay big, but it looks like the head of a certain type of tulip. It's really cool. And he didn't know, because but see, he knows electronic stuff that I wouldn't know. He's really got a good eye for some of that. He knows sneakers. So he's got a whole rack to one side that's all these great high-end sneakers. I wouldn't have a clue. So it's kind of cool, because our knowledge base is kind of like complement each other, which I think is nice. So we've got quite a few people here. Hey, Pamela 13. I don't think I know that name. But, you know, you never know. Oh, what's popping up on my screen down here? Major storms developing in the west with heavy snow. Oh, darling, please don't send it my way. I don't want it. I still have no heater. I don't want it. There we go. So I get my... I literally just came flying in the door. Oh, Paul, you know more than you think. But I came flying in the door because I was like, I have all this stuff and just never got a chance to get any of it. I haven't even researched any of it. So there's going to be a lot of offer ups tonight because I have no idea. Just because I just didn't have time. I didn't have time. And some stuff I literally just pulled out. Yeah, I think Pamela 13, I've seen you in the chat, but I just don't remember if I have an email from you with a name. But then my Boy Scouts will tell you how bad I am. It takes me a while to remember names. Colorado is getting 20 inches of snow. Oh, God. But, you know, though, they are a bit more used to it since, you know, a lot of Colorado is a higher elevation. So, a good idea for a dictionary for young people. How young? That's Judy. That's the key thing. How young? Because there used to be a dictionary that was really pretty cool. And I used to work at Walden Books back in the day when they had Walden Books around. Best job I ever had. And there used to be one that had that literally was the picture and then the spelling of the word and then the definition for younger kids. 8 and 7. Yeah, that's a little young for a big standard size one. Check. No, I had to buy my own full-size dictionary. I've got the big Random House monster that's, that's like that thick. There is a mid one that's more for middle school. And I don't think it's Funk and Wagner. Funk and Wagner? It's been a long while. There is you're right. There is a Webster Jr. Webster Jr. would be a good one for that age. Oh, hon, thank you. Thank you very much, Gary. My brother brought me tea. He's trying to, well, you guys are sliding down here. He's trying to be nice, which is nice of him. Laonda, yes. I just have not had a chance to Funk and Wagnalls, thank you. But Laonda, I have not had a chance to answer any of those emails with trying to get the house sorted out to those 3 heaters, to 3 radiators that are completely inaccessible. They told me they could be back in as soon as a week. So I have been going insane this past week trying to clear. I have to clear the way in the basement. We've been working on that, and you guys haven't seen that part of it. And I've had to clear the way into a room I haven't been in at least 10 years. And that was literally packed to the doorway. You guys saw it after I actually got the doorway empty. So this weekend is going to be solely devoted to getting caught up on the emails, getting caught up on the packaging, getting caught up on the invoices. And, I'm just not worrying about the heater. I need a weekend to just work on this because, this is an income for me. So guys, hi, Sarah. Oh, look, now Sarah's here after we had those gorgeous Easter pics last week. Poor Sarah, missed them. That's all right. I'm doing what I can. And so, glassware. Where do I start? Let's start with something little. I have no idea who made them. Do I have I tested all the glass but this, and there's another piece of glass hiding over here. Come here, you. Let's add you to the pile over there. Oh, I think I left my my new little flashlight. I think I left upstairs. So I don't know if these glow. You see these? They're neat little. They're just neat little shot glasses. But I really like the look of them. And it's that light, really, I guess they'd be a yellow color more than an amber, because they're really not dark enough to be what you would think of an amber. They really kind of look like a lighter honey. But they're really cool. I don't see a chip. I feel one. I can't see it, but I could feel a rough spot right there, just a tiny one. But I can't see it. And there's nothing on that one, but there's no maker's name. There's no maker's mark on it. So, I'm not bundled up because it actually hit Margaret Gwen. I have a tiny bit of heat in one bedroom, the playroom back here, and the back hallway. Only 6 radiator, and the heater right there gets some. Only 6 radiators in the 1935 part of the house are getting any heat because there's no pump to the radiator. It's just gravity making it loop around, and because that's the smaller loop, it actually is getting a little bit of heat. But today got up to 69 or 70 degrees this afternoon. So my son had as many windows open as he could get through the heat of the afternoon. So it aired the house out, and it's actually made the house nice and warm. And then once the sun went down, he went around and he shut all the windows again. So inside is actually kind of reasonable right now. So oh, you saw the one about the thing breaking my house? Yeah, that was a big branch. And there's one just as big that the neighbor has yet to take down that goes straight across my house, all the way across the entire width of the house. And I'm afraid that one will do the same thing, drop because of its own weight, because it's too long. And I asked him to take it down. And I need to ask him again, going, when are you taking that down? And his insurance company actually said no, they weren't gonna. Dang it, stop sliding. That they were not going to do anything to repair my house that his tree broke. So my house is still broken. Yeah. And Gabriel, did you see the other one about the tree I got cut down? My own tree? That was the first big goal. I don't know. And he travels a lot for his job. So catching Kevin is not always easy. So, but yeah. So I've had tree problems, but I'll tell you, I don't like living not having any trees. The air quality in Chester is not great because there's no trees. Like many mid-sized cities, they've chopped them all down. And the house behind me is taking out another tree that's probably about 100 years old. Great big massive thing. And the trees that are left on my property and the tree that's next door there, we literally are just this oasis in the 2 yards of trees because nobody's got trees around us. And then they wonder why the air quality is so bad. You need the trees around. So let's say these 2 little amber shot glasses, really pretty, really kind of cool with the ribbing around the bottom. So let's say these are $6 for the pair. $6 for the pair of the amber shot glasses. I don't know the maker. They are kind of cool. I think they'd be kind of cool even just for little short, tiny vases because you always get something that's got just a short stem. And so they're $6, number 4, for anyone who wants them. I'll put them there. Gabriel. Yeah, if trees are managed well, they don't have to come down for a long time. I had to take down the big magnolia because it had actually just died. The whole thing. So, but the one behind me, it's kind of dying because they let ivy climb up it. And the whole side that the ivy's on is starting to lose branches. And that's because the ivy grows up it. The worst thing you can do to a tree is let ivy climb up it because the roots go into the bark, and the bark is really what's helping move a lot of nutrients and stuff up through the tree. Okay, so that was that. Now, I have these little guys. Now, I don't know if this color was put on later, and you can't really see it on this one at all. But this one, it had, I think it's worn off, but this center where the little dots are, those little beaded spots, that had been yellow. And then this one, you can see it. It's blue, but that's after the fact. I mean, that seems to be flashed in there. But they're interesting little salt cellars. And there's a little bit of a, can you see it? There's a little bit of a, no, you can't see it with that. There's a little bit of a crisscross pattern going on that glass that I don't think I can get you to see it. So it looks like there's like a little indent of diamonds all the way around, but it's really lightly done. So it's kind of, I think it's impossible for you guys to see. But they're just two little salt cellars. And you know what? You know what these are from? So there were only ever the two. I don't ever remember seeing any more. My great aunt used to have little fuzzy chenille chicks that she would sit in these as part of the Easter decorations. So she'd use them as tiny little nests for these little fuzzball things that she had, these little yellow chicks. And then at Christmas, she had these little fuzzball chenille red chicks that she always called cardinals, but they looked exactly like the fuzzy round-bodied little chicks. So you could, if you could find little birds like that, you could find little chicks and have them sit in them as little decorations. But they aren't very big. They're only, but they are, you can see they are a thick glass. But it's from edge to edge, it's 1 3/4 inches wide. So for this little pair, because they are older. Well, you know what? We'll make them $5, and they're number 20. And I'm going to call them the glass nests just because that's what I remember them. So it's $5 for the pair of the two little, they're really actually just glass salt cellars, but they're just, I just know that's what she used to use them for. So it's $5 for the pair, number 20. What did Katie make this time? Please tell me she didn't make anything that had Jell-O in it. Katie deserves to have something really, really nice after that Jell-O. No. All right. Are you guys ready for an offer up? Let's do the lovebirds first. I have this. Isn't it adorable? It's got the heart. That is a heart. And it's got the two birds. It is signed on the bottom, Ron Ray, 1989. So there's no chips, no cracks. It's in great shape. There is this weird little air bubble. Can you see it? It's just under the surface, but it is an air bubble right there. Isn't that adorable? I so want to find one of these in red. I really want a red one. So this is going to be an offer up. And, you know, we're just gonna We're just going to let it run. I'm not even going to worry about timing it because I've seen other people have these at their live sales, and the price, what they get depends on who's there, and it's just so cool. So we're going to start the offer at $9 because I'm remembering what I paid for it. So we're going to start it at $9. And remember, it is signed Ron Ray, 1989. So it's an offer up. So if whoever wants to start with the 9, you can start with the 9, and we'll see how far it goes. But isn't that beautiful? I just love the color is great. Now there are some air bubbles in the bodies of the birds. And it is, I mean, tip to tip of the tails is 6 inches across. So I see Purple Love at 10. Perfecting Pearls was in there. How high is it? They're 2.5 inches high. The heart is really good too. Like the heart is really, that they sit on is really nicely balanced. And then the signature's over here. So I see Terry at 11. No, Perfecting Pearls got in there first at 11. Wonderful piece. And you know what? We could all use some of the Bluebird of Happiness for this year, can't we? And it's just so cool that it's signed. And I don't know who is the better one to have. I see Margaret Gwen at 15. I know there's a couple different names of signatures. This one, it looks like it says Ron Ray, 1989. I don't know. Oh, Leo Ward, I think is that the other one? Okay, I see Purple Love at 17. But isn't it just great? It's just, I saw it and went, I have to snag that. It's okay, Katie. You didn't have to time this one. I noticed that you had disappeared on us, so I was like, well, we're just going to let this one run for a little bit. Yeah, I've noticed that. And I don't mind timing it on some things if I know the value, but it's just been such a week that I just couldn't. Today I just could not get functioning. So I think the only one still in is Margaret Gwen at 18. So we have a going once to Margaret Gwen at 18. And going twice. And I'm taking my time because I understand there is a lag between what I'm seeing recording on the phone and what's actually hitting the laptop. So I believe it is sold to Margaret Gwen. Thank you very much. For 18. Margaret Gwen. All right. Now, what's next? You're welcome. All right. Now, some of you have seen this before. And it's back because it was from someone that was not behaving nicely. Remember we had a time back when somebody was bidding things up at all the sales and then nobody'd ever hear from them. So it's back. It's lovely, dark cobalt blue. The flowers, these are actually painted on. And then there's a little gold line here and a little line. Now there is a little wear on this side. You see how the line fades away? It's not completely gone, but it's faded. And so we have this lovely one. Now there's no, they did a nice job with the pontil. You can kind of see that it was there, but they've done a nice job smoothing it. It is a nice little piece. Jeffrey was at that sale that night, and he said it gave him kind of a 1940s vibe, which probably, I don't know, because I'm going out on a limb here having a glass sale because I don't know glass that well. So we're going to have this. This is going to be an offer up, and we're going to start it at $5. So who wants to go first for $5? It's a lovely little piece. It is really, really nice cobalt. I wish I had my flashlight so that you really could see that it's that lovely deep blue. It's really what you want for that cobalt color. That really nice, almost kind of a, when you're looking at it this way, it's there's almost like a purple to it, which Jeffrey told me later that's the older stuff would have that. So I see Perfecting Pearls has it up to 7. And it's really nice. And there's no chips anywhere. There's no scratches to it. As I said, there's the wear to it. And it's you could tell it's like it's on the back here where I guess you would have picked it up like that. But it's mostly just this little line here. The gold line gets a little faded. So I see. Oh, so you can see the size? Yeah, it's not very big. It's more like a bud vase. It's 4 1/4 inches high. It's just 4 1/4. And it's what? The opening at the top is 2 inches wide. So it's really a lovely little, if you had like a single flower or just a couple of them. And the nice part is that sometimes bud vases have these really tiny openings, but you've got a nice, like I can fit 2 fingers in there. You've got a nice size opening. You can use it for bigger, my phone keeps sliding tonight. You could use it for bigger flowers. So if you had 2 roses that you could stick that had a short stem, you could stick them in there, or calendulas, or, you know, any other kind of nice thicker stemmed flower. So I see Gabriel Lish at 8, and Nettie is out. So who else had bid? Perfecting Pearls. Perfecting Pearls, dear, are you in or out? We're at 8 with Gabrielle. Gabrielle. Oh, that's true. The mini daffodils would be really nice in this. The yellow opposite that blue would be gorgeous. Hello, Tink. Yeah, someone gave me some Gerberit daisies last year. I don't know what color they were. Lynn Dowdy's at 9. It's really lovely. Now you can see there's a difference like on how it was painted on that side. And then on this side, the red dot ran just a little bit. But it still is really pretty. So we have Lynn Dowdy at 9. Going once. Going twice. You guys just keep sliding away. So, all right. So to Lynn Dowdy for 9. Blue 1940s vase. Lynn Dowdy. Okay. I'm looking for my double-sided tape, and I don't see it. Because that's what I use to hold the camera in place. Because the camera's not cooperating tonight. Oh, foo. You know what? I think I took it upstairs. I know what I'll do. Because I'm not going to have that camera sliding like this all night long. It'll drive me crazy. And congratulations, Lynn. That's a lovely little vase. Let's see if I can do this without having it like there. I'll tape that sucker into place with some painter's tape. Now maybe that camera will sit still. So has everybody else had a good week this week? I know some of you are doing the black hole challenge with me. So has anybody found anything interesting? My son is betting me that I'll find something dead in that room. Because he said, well, the cats used to hide in there. I'm like, haven't found anything yet. Okay. So, you know what's happening? The phone, and I don't know how to stop it from getting notices, but apparently in the Instagram, there's a chat of, no, I can't, I'm tired, I can't think of the name, of something warriors. And it's basically, you know, if everybody's asking for prayers and good thoughts, and something's going on, because that's what keeps popping up. But I don't know how to silence the notices on my phone. So you guys keep hearing this buzzing like the giant mosquito from out of Jurassic Park or something. So, well, I have to admit, Philly Flipper, Paul, the only thing I found dead in that room is the fact that I found an old 1950s, 50s or 60s. When was Daniel Boone a thing? When was it a TV show? Because I found a kid's hat, and it has a real raccoon tail on the hat. Which is just weird. Oh, I wouldn't put duct tape on the edge of the phone. I'd be afraid I wouldn't get it off. Now, this set, you probably saw, if you saw the video for the antique mall, I snagged these there, and I really like them. They're just very different looking. And I couldn't decide if that's like the spikes to a flower about the bloom or if that's meant to be corn. They do say made in Italy on the bottom. And the tops do unscrew. And the tops are plastic, but they're that, you know, the 1970s plastic that had that Tupperware kind of shiny feel. Message on Instagram, click the title icon on the top right, then click. Oh, okay. Thanks, Paul. See, I'm technology challenged, so. I don't know, Paul. You haven't heard the story of the fact that there was a raccoon in the house. And I found it because it was eating the cat food in the kitchen. And it got into the house through the third floor. There's a reason there's a video of the giant vines that went up the side of the house being pulled down. Because that was the raccoon superhighway. And then last week we had a bird in the house. And my chicken son said that he knew it was in the house. It had been flying around his room and it landed on the bed. So all he did was pull the covers up over his head. He's 26 and an Eagle Scout, and he was afraid of a bird. This was not a raptor. This was not a predator bird. This was a European starling. Some parts of the country, they're called grackles. They're invasive, they're obnoxious, and they're a royal pain. But it was, so he's like, I think it's on the 3rd floor now. Maybe you should go look. What? How did I get the kid, the Boy Scout coward of critters? You know? So we get up, the cat must have brought it in because we could not find anywhere where it could have gotten in on its own. But apparently early in the morning when my brother came back from getting his newspaper and coffee, she quick bolted into the house. And anytime she comes running into the house past you like that, she's usually got something. So this bird didn't seem hurt, just confused. So there's a window up there on the landing. So I was able to open the top of the window up and it just flew right out. But yeah, we used to have bats get into the house and we couldn't figure out how for the longest time. And that was when we had my brother's Rottweiler living here. You don't want a Rottweiler trying to chase and catch a bat in your house. Yeah, right? He should have thrown the covers over the bird and then grabbed the bird and chuck it out the window, right? No. There's too much wildlife. I may be technically on the edge of a city, and there's just too much wildlife around here. So back to these guys. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're meant to be salt and pepper because they've got the holes, but you don't usually see a single hole. Or because of their size, if they're meant to be oil and vinegar. I had one person tell me they thought maybe that they were salt and vinegar because in a lot of places you would have malt vinegar for on your French fries, or in Britain they call them their chips. So, but they're a good size. I can't hold both of them in one hand. Oh, Lavish Mango, you had a birthday? Cool. Happy birthday. You had a cricket get in your house, Katie? Oh, those suckers are annoying because they're little buggers. They hide. You can hear them and you can't find them. So this is, if I put it where I can see the numbers, 7 inches tall. So they're actually kind of tall. They're in great shape. They're nice and clean. Like I said, both say made in Italy on the bottom. It's a neat set. It really is a nice set. And I know cruet sets can be pricey. And I paid up a little bit for these. So these would be, where's my note? I do have the note here for these. All right, so these would be $10 for the pair. $10 for the pair. It's most likely oil and vinegar. You can make them whatever you want. I mean, if you made these for salt and pepper, these would be neat to have like out on the picnic table, just because the coloring would be great. But these will be $10. They're number 42. $10, number 42 for the Made in Italy glass. Let me write down Italy on my note here. So they'd be $10, number 42. That's beautiful yellow glass too. Yep, made in Italy. on, get over there. A white cricket spider. I've seen white crickets. If you go into a lot of these caves, like Mammoth Cave, well, some of Mammoth Cave, Penn's Cave, there's a lot of caves on the whole East Coast. And some places they actually have white crickets because they've never been out in the sunlight. And I actually saw a white crawdad in one. And then there was a brown crawdad, and the guy went, no, that can't happen because the white crawdads in the pond in the caves are blind. But the brown ones that had been outside are not, and they'll eat all the others. So he had to get that one out of there. The fun things you have that you find, they go on vacation in the old days when they used to pack the kids in the car and just, pick a different place and drive there. You find some really cool old stuff just hidden around off the main highways. Hello, Tammy. Oh, Tammy, honey, don't worry. I was late tonight. You can tell the meds are kicking in. Now, let's see. No one for the oil and vinegar. Okay. I miss my bats. Something's happened around here to the bats. They used to be in the cupola on top of an old barn that was on property from the 1850s down the street from me. And then that got torn down. And sadly, that house is sitting empty now, and it's up for sale. Widener had bought it, the university. But that's where they had lived, and then they tore that down. And so I saw very few bats last summer, and you could tell from the amount of mosquitoes. And in my area, we have the tiger mosquitoes. If you see mosquitoes out on a bright sunny day and they have black and white striped legs, they are Asian tiger mosquitoes, and they are invading the country. And they're obnoxious little suckers. Okay, so we did the birds. Let's do something not glass. I have two old Charlie Brown books. I think they're both first editions. Okay, so this one, we're on your side, Charlie Brown. This is the first Fawcett Crest printing from January 1966. But then it has the years of the copyrights of when they were produced in the newspapers. So these were ones from 57, 58, and 59. And you can tell, like, you could see the difference. Can you see Linus? That's Linus. And in those early 1950s ones, they didn't all quite look the same. Lucy never quite changed. She still looked the same. Linus looked a little different. And there's something about Charlie Brown where somehow Charlie Brown looked a little different. And there's something about his head, the way they used to draw him, that looks a little different. So you have We're on Your Side, and it's still solid, but the covers, like somebody took some red on the back and filled that in. And there's some creasing all over the covers, but the binding's still good. And then there's Your Something Else, Charlie Brown, a new Peanuts book. And this one is a first edition from 1968, Holt, Reinhardt, and Winston. But this one even has it in there that it's absolutely first edition. And it's got the rare thing of having on the information page of actually having an illustration there. And this one's in really good shape too. And this is one of the ones where it was, a lot of these were made just for the book. They didn't all come from the comic strips. Now you can see it is a staple binding, and you can see the staple there. There's another one up top there. And it's a little rough on the outer edge, like there's some wear on the corners. And yeah, don't forget the thumbs up, darlings. But I didn't find any problems with the pages. I like that there's some of Snoopy in his Sopwith camel flying gear. And Pigpen's in this one. Some of the earliest ones, Pigpen's not in. And you can see some discoloring up here. It's mostly here. But otherwise, they're in pretty good shape. And it's just, he must have lost some weight, lost the baby fat. But, and I didn't look them up, so I don't know if there's a resale value to these for a book collector or not, but we were talking about Snoopy the other day in some of the chats and how I'm always looking for the Snoopy Scouts, anything with the Snoopy Scouts. I know they've been doing ornaments for years, and I only have about 3 of them. But I'm always looking for that stuff. But I thought, well, when I saw these, we'll offer these up. And it's $5 for the pair of them. $5 for the 2 books. And it's number 44. For the Charlie Brown, the vintage Charlie Brown books. I know that's too low. I know. Second part of living. But, you know, some things you just want to give everybody fun to have it. So, second part of living. There we go. Wow. Quite a few of you liking that Snoopy stuff. Well, it's Charlie Brown. I know I have more Charlie Brown stuff somewhere. I have Snoopy kitchen stuff for Christmas time. You know I've never used it, but I do know where it all is now. All right. Let's do what are you? So I have a piece. It's the only one I've got that I know of you're a little dusty. Come here. So it's called Bohemian Glass. That's all I know about it. I think this stuff's gorgeous. I probably shouldn't even be selling this one. I should just keep it. But it is lovely little dish. I think I love this stuff. And it's I don't know how to get the I don't have light behind me. Darn it, but it's green. This is green glass underneath there. And they always have this great gold, the gilding. The gilding goes around the back. You can see there's a ponto mark there. And then these little bits are hand painted, and you have to watch because this is thick oil paint for the flowers. So it gives them a dimensional look to them, and you have to watch because sometimes that can flake off. So you've got to be careful with it when you own some of it. But there is, and it's in the glass, there's a weird little bubbling right at the tip of my finger. And I looked at it with a jeweler's loop, and it's just some odd little, there's like 3 little tiny, tiny bubbles right there, right under the surface. So it reflects a little differently. The glass reflects its light a little differently. So that, it is a really lovely piece. And all that painting part is intact. So it's in great shape. So yeah, it would be great to have this up and displayed. So this is going to be an offer up, and we're starting at $5, which is, come on, you know that's worth more than that. But everybody likes the fun of, offering up. So for the little Bohemian glass piece, we're going to start at $5. And it's just a lovely, lovely little, and you can see like this, I have small hands, but that's the size of it. It's not very big at all. And we're going to start it at 5. No timer on this one, Katie. I'm giving you a break on this one. I probably am going to time the bell. Probably not the Blanco though, but so what's the size of this thing? So it's just a hair over 3 inches at the wide part here. And then it's not quite 3 1/4 top to bottom. But yeah, if you could find a way to like actually hold it up that way, or even on a little thing this way, it really would be great to display it sitting up. So I see Purple Love. Oh, no, here comes Trisha. Sandy and Otto at 7. There's no chips to it. There's no cracks. There's no major loss to the gold anywhere. There's a little bit of wear to the gold right on these points here and here, the spots where it sticks up the most, because probably from handling it. And I see Trisha at 8. And, it drives me nuts that, like, on my laptop, the coloring just looks kind of faded out. And you can't see the delicate green that is in these leaves. Really delicate. And then this tiny little flower has variegated blues to it. So I can't tell if it's meant to be a tiny little violet or a forget-me-not. It's got 5 petals, so I'm thinking it's meant to be like a tiny little violet on there. So I think we have Sandy Otto. I think it's Trisha at 8. Going once. Going twice. All right. Trisha at Sandy and Otto for $8. Awesome. Carefully slide that back in there. Now, come on, come out of there. Now, all right, so I have a fun one. I have a 1994 Welch's Foghorn Leghorn. The little chick is reading Snore No More. But it is one of those jelly jar glasses. But here's the fun. This actually has its original lid. This has the original lid. Now, it says Welch's Looney Tunes 7 Collector Series. And it says collect all 12 scenes. So, but it is, there's no rust on the inside of the lid, but they are meant, they sold these to be little glasses. And this one, you could, because it's got the original lid, you could actually and it just snaps on and off. You could use it just as a little storage thing, or just as a fun decoration and then have something else sitting on top. But it's just a neat little thing. I always did like Foghorn Leghorn. Kind of reminded me of my grandfather. So So the Foghorn Leghorn glass is just $5. And it's number 43. $5, number 43. And this one is really nice and glossy. It's never been through a dishwasher. I don't think this one's ever got used. My mother used to reuse them for jelly. And then if she had a lid, she'd put wax on the over top of the jelly to seal it. So, but it's $5, number 43. Yeah, it really is cool because you just never find them with the lids. That's the one thing you just don't find. All right. How about the real eye candy? So this one is pretty old. I do have a note in there. Now you can see it has some initials on it. It says from A T H to DM. So that's all the initials on there. And that doesn't match any initials in my family. I'm pretty sure this is one of the ones that got bought for my mom because she had a small collection of this stuff. But it is dated 1905. And from what I could tell of this one is quite probably authentic. Part of the ones you can tell, like I have another one that is a more modern souvenir piece. And what they did with the more modern ones is they do that. That's silver. They used silver paint to do the wording, whereas the old ones, they would, with this flash, they actually would engrave the flash off of it. They would take that right off. Purple Love put down for 43. Ah, okay. Purple Love. All right. So this is the 1905. What do they call it? Cranberry glass? So yeah, like a lot of times you'd get these at a carnival, or I have one that was from my great grandmother, and they got it from she had one piece that I was always told was from down at the Atlantic City Boardwalk, and then the other one, the one that I have, they had gotten by being up at one of the World Fairs. Yeah, this is an older piece. It does have the 1905 date. It's in great shape. There is a little spot right there. That's not a chip. That's where the red flashing has had a little bit of a scrape and come off. But for the most part, the red flashing is in really good shape. And so this is going to be an offer up. And we're starting this at $9 for this offer up. But it is a really nice one in good condition. So it's an offer up. We're starting at $9. Really nice piece from 1905. And it's 3 inches high. It's 3 1/4 from here to here. And it is really nice. And I love, like, the glass. There is a bit of It doesn't seem heavy like it would be crystal, but there is a really nice shine and a little bit of iridescent reflection to the glass. And the cutting job is really nice too, that they did. And now, and it's got this neat star pattern on the bottom as well. I have a friend that has collected this stuff, and she's got some beautiful old examples where the flashes actually stayed in pretty good shape because people wouldn't use them. They weren't meant to be used, so a lot of times they didn't ever get used. So no one wants to start that one off? Okay. Yeah, the flash on the one from my great-grandmother is actually in really good shape too, partly because it lived in a china closet for its entire life. So, all right, well, we'll sit that one over there. And what other glass do we have? Oh, you know what? We have this guy. He's just a neat little candy dish. I don't think he's got... No, there's no maker's mark. And you can see the mold lines on the base. Like there's a line here and a line on this side. Now they did really well hiding it. Like you can't see that line up here, nor can you see it around the rim. But they didn't really hide it on the bottom. And yeah, Trisha, I was starting it at 9 as an offer up, but nobody seemed to want that one. I have a little bit of heat, Joelle. I have heat in one bedroom and a hallway and the back room back there, the playroom, and this one here that's right by me. But we also had weather today that hit 69 or 70 degrees. And my son opened up as many windows as he could to let some of the heat into the house. And then as soon as the sun went down, he shut all the windows again to keep it all in the house. You think that might be anchor hawking? See, this has been in my house for forever. My mother had this forever. And I know I didn't think to look. Remember all those wedding shower gifts? The cards we went through one night? You know, it didn't occur to me that I think I'll have to look through them. Because I know there were a couple of things. I still have them right here. I know there were a couple of pieces of glassware, and they mentioned what they were. So I'll have to look. Maybe it is anchor hawking. But I pulled this out of the top of the closet in the kitchen because out of the hutch. But it is a neat little piece, and I'm trying to make sure there's no chips anywhere, because I may have looked and then just forgotten. It's been that kind of a week. There's a flea bite on the bottom underneath right there. And I don't see any others, and I don't feel any others. No, and the lid's in good shape too. Nothing there. So this is kind of big. This one's 8.5 inches tall. So You know, it's a large size. It's a large one. I think it would look really cool, like if you had different color, those mini ornaments, to have them to have them inside of it just as a neat decoration piece, because you could change the color, like green ones for St. Patrick's Day, red ones for Valentine's Day or Christmas. And so the tall candy dish, because or candy, or that's because that's what used to be in it when I was growing up, with the lid. So this one's $8 and it's number 38. $8 for number 38. It is really nice and it is really big. I mean, I've seen smaller ones, but this is really tall. It's 8 inches tall and it's 3.5 inches wide. So that is a nice piece. All right. What is the best company to have been the maker? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, that would be cool. Keep bath salts in it. That would be cool. So, what else do we have here? All right, guys. This is probably one of the pieces y'all been waiting for. Because I know you guys know what Fenton is. And I know you know what opalescent Fenton is. And hobnail. And this is probably one of the coolest pieces I have tonight. Isn't that great? And then look at that opening. Isn't it beautiful? Ooh. Like Boy Scouts would be going, ooh, ah, special. Because it is. It's just gorgeous. Isn't this gorgeous? So this is an offer up. I did look this up, and I believe it's Fenton. You hate adulting? Yeah, I really hated adulting just today too. All right. So this is an offer up. And we're going to start this. It's a beautiful little piece. So we're going to start this at $8. And you all know that is worth way more. It's a lovely little vase. And I looked it up and I believe that I found this to be Fenton. Yeah. I just can't get over the top. This shape is just, now if this were smooth with this opalescent, you guys would never see this because it would have been in my china closet. I just don't like hobnail stuff. There is, can you see it? There would have been a seam here, and they smoothed it until you get to right here. You can actually feel it a little bit. It's not a boot so much as it's like a cornucopia, because this curls up. So it looks more like a cornucopia, but we're so used to seeing cornucopias sit like this, but this goes this way. So I see Perfecting Pearls at $8. The color is a light blue, and then the opalescence starts about here, and it's all opalescent at the top, but you can see how it fades as it goes into the rest of the blue. And it goes down to about here is the opening. And it really is really, really, really nice. There's no chips. There's no scratches. You've got that beautiful opalescence. And it is this really nice, really light blue color to the glass. And the base is this really nice oval, nice and smooth. They've polished the mold line pretty well. It's 3 3/4 inches high to here. I see Joelle at 19, but it's just gorgeous. And I really like the opalescence. I just wish it weren't hobnail, because I see Patricia Sandoval at 21. Oh, and you found one and it had a chip. I was so happy to find this, and there's no chips to it. I mean, it's just in gorgeous shape. And it's funny, like the few pieces in my mother's family, the few pieces they had that were really good stuff never got used. They would just have it sitting in either the built-in china closet in the dining room or one of the 2 china closets in the dining room. Okay, so Perfecting Pearls is out. Sally is out. Why did okay, that was weird. My laptop just jumped a few seconds. So I see Patricia Sandoval at 24. But it's a precious little thing. You know, sometimes these little ones, the little pieces just show you can just see so much more to the detail than some of the big pieces sometimes. And it's really, really nice. So, uh-oh. Why? My laptop suddenly went black. I don't know why. Okay, so I see Patricia at 24 going once. And Patricia at 24 going twice. Okay, sold to Patricia. Patricia, do I have your information? Yeah, isn't it? That was a really nice find. And that's actually I think a find from here in the house. Because some of this glass I picked up, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the pieces I found here. Yeah, because Patricia, I need your name, your address, of course. If your name is different on YouTube than your real name, make sure you tell me that. And I need the email to use. I invoice through PayPal. So I hope I have packages going out tomorrow. I don't know. Well, I do want to get another carload of stuff over to Paul tomorrow, so I do have to tackle that. All right, let's do. What do I have? I have this planter. Now, it has some issues on the bottom because this started to flake there, and it's a Ukaga. How do you say that? Um, Darn it, it's missing too much of it. If it says Ukago, I don't know. But it's a neat size planter, and it's definitely got this mid-century modern. The glaze inside is still really nice. And even though it was meant as a planter, you could put your fruit in this sitting on the counter. I mean, I think it would look really cool having your apples sit in this thing. So, oh, Nettie, I've done that. Sometimes, most of the time, my phone is faster than my laptop. Most of the time. So if I'm going to throw an offer in to get something, I usually do it on my phone. But I usually am testing them out to see which one's got the faster connection. Yeah, I think that's Ukago. Good night. Good night, Perfecting Pearls. So it kind of annoys me that I can't remember the name of this because it has that damage, but that's underneath. There's no damage to the pattern. It's definitely very mid-century modern. It would make a great bowl for on the kitchen counter. And hi, Doug. Or is it Ugco? I don't remember. Ugco green. But this is $7 for this big planter, and it's number 46. And it's 8 inches across too. Like I said, this would make a great United China and Glass Company. That could be. That could be. So I see Nettie. And my mind is really just so tired out that I've completely forgotten what I said the price was. You know I'm tired when I can't even remember what I just said. What did I just sell this for? Oh my. I'll sit you there. Oh my. Did my chat freeze? I think I said 8. No, I don't think it was $1. We'll go with 8. Oh. Like I said, I wore myself out the other day, and I'm tiring out tonight. At least I look like I've got a little more color back to my face. When I came home from work, Mike was like, you shouldn't go live tonight because you look so pale. Because anytime I don't feel good, there's just nothing. There's no color. When I was in high school, I would just walk into the nurse's office and she'd say, okay, I'll call your mother. One day I walked into the nurse's office and all I was doing was delivering a note from a teacher. And the woman was ready to send me home because I was so pale. I'm like, no, I feel fine. Doug Darling, if I had something worth $1 million, I'd have a heater by now. And a roof that didn't leak and hot water to the only shower in the house. Man, that lottery system, how do you rig that? It's not my backlin. It's that I overdid it trying to have to carry stuff up and down the steps myself, and my knee this morning just wouldn't even unbend. And the the dust and the allergies from this time of year, and my brother smoking and coming near me, it's starting to create way too much congestion all through the bronchioles and in my sinuses. So, second part of living. Good night. I have to be careful about what I lift because it's not my back so much that gets to me, but there's something wrong in my side that pulls. So, yeah, with my luck, the $1 million items on the third floor hiding in that attic. Oh, Trader Joe's has turmeric tea. There's a Trader Joe's in Media. It's in an old armory building. And they kept the exterior of the building. So the building has this really cool stone armory building from, I don't know, the early part of the 1900s. And the Trader Joe's is inside of it. They renovated the inside, but kept the exterior. So it looks really cool. So I have this. Now this one, this is not like the other one. This is not an old piece. And I don't know if you can tell. I mean, I know you can tell from the fact that this is printed on silver, but when you see them side by side, and I don't think the lighting you can tell, but the red isn't the same color. Like this red is, it's almost like it's a thicker and a deeper ruby, and it just doesn't look the same. And this is, and you don't feel like all this is really, it's ribbed, but it's not cut. You know how when you there's a feeling to glass that's been cut, not necessarily super sharp lines. Some of them are. If you get crystal, you can get really sharp edges on stuff. But this is all very smooth and rounded ribbing. And even the bottom is really smooth. And it's from the modern molds. And this one has a little bit of wear here, but it's made to look like a coal scuttle. And for those of you like Paul who probably don't know what a coal scuttle is, you'd have to carry the coal up from out of basement, usually, up to where you had the coal grate for in a fireplace. Some houses in the 1920s have fireplaces that are not very deep. And it's because they were not meant to be used with wood. They were meant to be used with a special kind of grate that would, okay, so a fireplace for wood, the grate lays like this. But a fireplace for coal is like this, and it's only about that wide, and they're usually about that tall by like that wide. And it's to hold the coal down inside that grate. And so you didn't need a fireplace that was very deep, and that was a big thing in the 20s. Oh, Paul, that's because right now you're probably the youngest one on here besides Katie. And Angela. Angela's still here. But it is kind of cute. And it says souvenir of Burlington, Michigan. So I'm guessing my mother got this when I was about 5 or 6 and we went to family vacation in Michigan. I thought it was cool because, we always said about Santa brings the bad kids coal at Christmas. And and just to keep us in line, she used to get that rock hard licorice candy that you had to break with a little tiny hammer, and she would put it in this thing. She'd have it broken up in little pieces, and she'd put it in this and have it sitting out just to have like little licorice candies, and only around Christmas time. But it's nice and clean. There's no licorice stuck in there. So this one is definitely not, it's a souvenir piece. It's not an older piece like the first one. So this one is $5 and it's number 37. So it's just $5, number 37. And it is just kind of cute little coal. If you have it this way and you know the words, it really is a cute little coal scuttle. $5, number 37. Oh, that would be cool. You know what I want, Judy Reardon? One of these days, I want to find one of those pine cones. Then you won't find them here on the East Coast. But out on the West Coast, there's some kind of a pine that has cones that are like this. They're massive. They're just these giant pine cones. I want one of those cones in the worst way, and I've never found one. I'm just on the wrong side of the country. So, okay, so I didn't see any takers for that one. What else do we have? We have the little juice glasses. Now, if you know what mimosas are, these might be nice for that. Mimosa shots in the morning, because they've got the orange juice. I didn't have a chance to look these up. Oh, the one's a little dirty. I didn't have a chance to look it up and see who made it. Must have had, it's got big thumbprint on there, so that must have been for me. Usually these things came as a set where you had the carafe for the orange juice. But back in the day when you had to squeeze your orange juice by hand, the glasses were always kind of small. But these are pretty cool. I mean, they'd make neat shot glasses, wouldn't they? Maybe an orange liqueur. Yeah, come on, get the thumbprint off of that one too. But there's no maker's mark on the bottom. They're in pretty good shape. The green leaves are still shiny, the orange is shiny. So if these were ever washed, it was definitely not in the dishwasher. These are 4 inches tall for the pair. Very much something that would have been from the 1950s. So it's, I know what the tomato ones were worth that I sold. So this would be $6 for the pair of mid-century modern orange juice glasses. I like the unique shape of these because they've got that nice, you know, tapered to the bottom shape. So these are number 12. And these would be $6 for the pair. I had a whole set that was, and it had the carafe with it. And I had the whole set that had tomatoes on them that I had put onto eBay a while ago. And I was surprised that those things were netty. I see netty in there first. I was surprised that there's still a lot of call for those. I didn't think there would be that much of a call, but people really do like them. I like the shape of those. I keep sipping on my tea so I don't go losing my voice tonight. All right, what's next? Let's do, I have this neat little thing. Now, that is, I mean, the finish on this is almost like satin. It's just that nice shine. And you can see that it was used for something because it's not quite as shiny on the inside. But look at that beautiful wood. Now, this is an older label, and Oregon myrtle wood. And I can't quite read all of it because there's a hole in the center, which is where they would have had it stuck on the lathe to turn this. But it does say natural something Oregon originals something to you, Bayview Myrtlewood Shop in North Bend, Oregon. And it really is a beautiful, beautiful piece of wood. I've never heard of myrtle wood. I know what a myrtle bush is, but yeah, it was used for something. I don't know what. It's just, it is such a neat little size. I mean, it fits in the palm of your hand, and it's 4 inches wide. It's 2.5 tall. You could use it to put your coins in, your keys, or just to enjoy that gorgeous wood. It's just a beautiful piece. Yeah, I mean, the shine to it is fantastic. And it really has this beautiful shine to the wood. And it's just a fantastic little bowl. And this is, oh, lavish mango. That was great. Yes, I know those cones are dangerously big. You don't want them landing on your car. Good night, Paul. Before the myrtlewood bowl, the bowl is $6, and it is number 15. It's $6, number 15, and it's just, this part you can now see. There's so much more shine there than here, but here you can see the grain of the wood. It's just a gorgeous piece. Absolutely gorgeous. So it's $6, number 15, for the myrtlewood bowl. Who didn't we do yet? And Gabriel. I see Gabriel Lish and Purple Love. All right. Now, I have another wood piece. Isn't that beautiful? Now, this is an older, and I don't know what kind of wood it is. It's lighter than that other one. And this one, it's all in Russian. It has a paper label. I can't read any of that. I was trying to see if I could figure out a date based on what's on there, but I can't read that. Oh, good night, Southern Mermaid. But I think this one's an older piece, and it's got all that beautiful hand painting all the way around it. Just a gorgeous bowl. I love finding these turn, and you can see inside. You can see where they turned it. So this is another one where it would have been turned on a lathe and carved all that out. The difference in this one, though, is they actually carved in a little bit. So this actually tapers. I don't know how to even show it. It tapers in. So the bowl comes up and over a little bit. But it's, again, it's a nice shape, gorgeous looking paint job. Absolutely gorgeous Russian lacquered bowl. And somebody just had one of these on a sale. Was it today or yesterday? That had one of these Russian pieces. And I did not have a chance to look this up. So we're going to do this as an offer, and we're going to start this one at $6 because I know there's a market for these. So, and I know this is an older piece, but it's $6, and as we're going to offer this up. I'm hearing noises outside. Might be the cat because the doctor's out back. Kokula. K-O. I'm writing that down. K. Here, look at the pretty bowl while I write this down. K-H-O-K-H-L-O-M-A. Cool. So $7. Yeah, none of that's in any kind of English that I could figure out. I love the fact that they even do these things on the inside. There's a piece of glitter in there. I was wondering why I was seeing something shiny besides the gold. I mean, I love the gold just inside just reflects the light so nicely on the inside, and it's beautiful, beautiful piece. Does the label show user USSR or CCP? I'll tell you in a second if I can find my jeweler's loop, because it's really tiny. Oh man, don't know where my loop is. All right, what do we got here? I honestly can't tell you if it's USSR or not. Oh, I wish I had my jeweler's loop. I think that little spot is USSR. I think that says, the tape's not holding the camera. I think that little spot, but it's so tiny. I can't tell. I have lost everything except my mind. I've lost the washi tape that I usually put numbers on things. I've lost my jeweler's loop. I'm losing everything today. So I see Lynn Dowdy at 12. Yeah, I mean, because it has the original label, even though I can't read any of the Russian, I do know that the fact that it has the original paper label is a really, really good thing for the value of these. So I see Lynn Dowdy at 12. It's just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm really surprised my son has not wanted me to keep this one. So we have Lynn Dowdy at 12 going once. Lynn Dowdy at 12 going twice. And all right, Lynn, you've got it. Congratulations. That is a beautiful. It's a gorgeous piece. Absolutely gorgeous piece. Did you have a maker's mark? Now, anybody who saw the Goodwill, Nancy went to the bins for the first time and found some interesting things. One of the first things I snagged is this lovely bell, but there's no maker's mark. It's got a beautiful tone. Gorgeous tone, and it's got a glass beads all the way up. This is a little chain, and this is a glass piece. That's the clapper, but it's really pretty. These are actually, because you could feel them, this is actually cut in. They've actually cut some of the glass away to get the leaf in there and to do the circles. This isn't just etched. This is like, this part is, this little curly Q is etched, but all the grapes and all the leaves are actually cut into the glass. It's a really nice, pretty little thing. And it is tall. It's 7.5 inches tall. It's really pretty, but like the other things, it's kind of a flash to the red, but the fact that these are actually cut into the glass, that this is definitely a better quality. And the handle has these little, the edges actually are ridged. Instead of these being straight flat edges, there's little tiny ridges just on all these edges. I don't know if it's Westmoreland, because like I said, everything's been such chaos for me trying to get all that stuff packed up to get to these 3 radiators that we just can't get to. And Mike's not been able to help me a lot because our schedules are so counter to each other right now. So for the bell, we're going to start the offer for the bell at $5. So the offer for the bell, we're going to start it at $5. It is a lovely thing. And believe it or not, this was, for those who didn't see that video, this was in one of the bins. I went to the Goodwill bins the day I had to wait for them to have Gandalf at the emergency vet, and it was just sitting there in the bin, miraculously unhurt. And it was the first thing I grabbed. Katie, I'd have to agree with you. It's definitely not made in the style you would think of for anything here in the US, because they went to so much trouble to actually cut these flowers out. Even this little teeny tiny leaf, that's actually cut out into the glass. The only part that seems to just be an etched part is this really thin line. So it's an offer up, and we started at $5. Is anybody? So if anyone's interested in the bell, it's an offer up starting at $5. Oh, Katie, you have bowls that match? Lovely. All right. Don't see anyone having any say for that one. All right, let's see. Who else do we have? I have an advertising piece of glass. And it's a nice cobalt piece. I like the fact that it's textured. It's textured here, and it's textured at the rim here. And I'm guessing it was an ashtray because you've got these marks here. But on the bottom, there's all these lovely words on the bottom. So on the bottom, if I turn it the right way around, It says, no, I should have written it down. Lowell hand cream deodorant blue. The heck is that? Blue something. Blue gem. Yeah, blue gem cream. Made in, I think that's Piqua. I think that's a Q. Piqua in Ohio. But it's Lowell hand cream. And so it's actually an advertising piece. But it's this cool little top hat. And it's got details. Like, I don't know if you can see it. There's actually a band. Like a top hat. Some of them have a band, like a satin ribbon. There's actually a band that goes around this part, and it is really cool. And you could sit this. It does sit fairly flat. And if you wanted to sit it this way and then sit something on top of it to give height to a little display of stuff in your house, you could do that. But it was Lowell hand cream deodorant blue gen cream. But it does, I mean, or you have it this way, it does look like an ashtray because it's got that. But it is a very, very cool little piece. And it is a neat little advertising piece. So this is one of the few things I did look up. So this is $7. This is $7, number 16, for the Lowell hand cream glass top hat. So it's $7, number 16. But it is a neat glass thing, and Lowell cream apparently made some figural pieces just for, I guess, just as gimmicks to advertise their hand cream. I see Nettie. Okay. All right. I really do like this one. I think he's pretty cool. That was a neat find. Who's here? Okay, I showed this. I found this upstairs in the black hole. I don't know if he is Gilner. I don't know if he's Treasure Craft. He's not marked in any way on the bottom. Oh, you know what, Daytrip? That's right. It would be cute for a 4th of July display, that little top hat. I have, and I think it's McCoy pottery. I have a little white planter that's a top hat with stars on it. I think it's packed away in the attic. With most of my McCoy stuff is packed away. Oh, Nettie, you have a white one? Yeah, that would be cute. That would be cute. But yeah, I think it would be good. Fairy lights in it. Can you fit fairy lights in that? They need to be tiny little fairy lights. Just be careful. I mean, well, the fairy lights nowadays don't get very hot, do they? So we have this guy. Now, he has an issue. Something has happened to the top of his hat. Has a little issue there. So he's all one color, and then the hands, like Gilner used to do, the hands are a bisque, but they are the skin tone. And the face looks very much like Gilner, but the Treasure Craft ones look very similar too. But I think the Treasure Craft ones, the head was wider. So I suspect he's a Gilner. And that skin tone bisque is the clay color. The clay is actually kind of tinted to be skin tone, I guess. But yeah, those dimples are everything, aren't they? That's why I've kept him for so long and just kind of ignored the chip. But because he was the only one I'd ever seen with dimples. Those little dimples. He's just so fun looking. So this little pixie with attitude. Oh yeah. So this little pixie he's an offer up. This is what happens when I don't get a chance to really research much. Everything turns into an offer up. So, oh, you could. That's an idea. Put a little mini Santa hat on him. So this little pixie, he is a planter, little planter. He is starting at $7. And he's an offer up. So anybody that wants to go, how much are those dimples worth? How much are those dimples? And that side eye. Not only is he, look, he's got that, he's looking at you. He's looking at you, that little side eye nonsense. And he's got the stump and the grass, and then what? There's a little mushroom. And I see Skunky Junk at 7. And he's just in great shape overall. The only thing wrong is the tip of that hat. There's no chips on the front. I thought there was one somewhere else. There it is. There's a little chip on the back, right near the bottom, which when it's this way, you don't really see it much. I see Lynn Dowdy at 8. He has such great attitude, but those dimples crack me up. And I like pixies, but I've been looking for the ones that are red. I don't really have the green ones. He's 5.5 inches high. And width-wise, what is he width-wise? So from the edge to the edge of here, he's 4.25 inches wide. But he is everything. And the lines of this tree stump go all the way around. They didn't just like cheat and make all the back smooth. He is really something. They did a really nice job on him. And he's glazed all the way in. The inside is completely glazed in there. So you could do, I mean, I think he'd be cool just even on the desk to hold your pencils. But like I said, that really is the flaw, is that hat. But that face with the dimples and those little side eye really makes up for that hat having an issue. Because I've never seen one with the little dimple dots before. He is just all that. So I'm seeing Rose Spangenberg came in at 11. So he is just an awesome face. And you could put a little Santa hat on him, and that would be awesome. A little Santa hat would cover that right on up. Okay. Oh, that's Lori Ann. Okay. So Lynn is out. So where are we at here? So I think we have Rose at 11. Yeah, Misty would love that face, wouldn't she? So I have Misty. Oh, a sparkly little pom-pom? Yeah, that would be cute. Day Trip Vintage. Who is it that does stuff with like Sculpey clay? It's not D, is it? No. I can't remember who it is. And she's done it a couple times. I'm drawing a blank because you never like see her face. You usually only ever see her hands. But she's one of the resellers. Is it D who does repairs on these? She could probably tell you how. I would love them. My mother, there's a vintage teapot that my mother's had hiding away for years. It's still in the upper shelves in the pantry that she always wanted to get repaired, but I never knew where to take it for her. So I'm seeing Rose at 11. So we're going once. We're going twice. And we are sold to Rose. And what emails do I have here? Second part of living. Oh, that was Lori Ann. Okay. Sometimes I forget. I'll remember your like real name and the town, but then I'll forget what the YouTube name is. And Liz Retros. That's the other one I was thinking of. Oh, good, Rose. Thank you. Send your info to me, dear. Liz Retros. I think she's done some repair. I don't know if either one of them's done any videos on it, but I think they've both talked about it. And you might be able to like email them and ask them. Okay. So that was a fun one. Now, did we do, how much of the glass is left? I don't know that you'd want to see the Tom and Jerry glasses because they're also jelly glasses like the Foghorn Leghorn. But we do still have this really awesome planter of two boys playing marbles. We still have the Blanco. And we still have that fantastic violin bottle. And what else? And I've still got the tiny little ashtray. Let's do the tiny little ashtray. I don't know who made it. I just know it looks really cool. But it is an ashtray. You've got your little edges. I don't know if it would have been part of a set because sometimes these little small ones, you would be able to get bridge sets where you could have a tiny little ashtray at each of the bridge players' side when back in the day when everybody and their mother smoked. But you could use this. It's got this really nice smooth oval on the center, but it just looks very cool. And it's got all this nice lines around it. It's very much a 1940s, 1950s piece. And it's not very big. It is 3 inches by, it's 3 inches by 2 1/4. And it's not quite 1 1/4 inches tall. This is really the kind of thing that really would be great for your rings and your earrings when you go to bed at night. Because it's deep enough, it's gonna hold a bit. But it really is a nice little piece of clear glass. And I'm trying to feel around the bottom edge. And I mean, the bottom edge, this is not smooth. This is all the pattern, but it is smooth on the inside. But I thought I had felt a piece. It reflects the light so much that you can't see. I don't see any chips, but I could have sworn there was a spot I had felt, a rough spot. There it is. There's a spot right here on one of the bottoms of one of these fluted pieces. So I don't know if it doesn't feel like that sharpness of a chip, but it does feel a little rough. I don't think it's part of an inkwell because of it having the pieces, the inset here to use as an ashtray. I know my grandmother had a whole sets of these that would nestle and be different sizes, and they were all ashtrays. But I just have just this lone one. But it would be, it's a great little trinket thing for on the nightstand to put your jewelry in, would be nice. So this one is, whoops, spell clear, right? Clear ashtray. It's $5 and it's number 10. $5, number 10. Oh. There we go. Okay. What else did I pull out? I have those. Let's do the Blanco. This is a piece of Blanco glass. Okay. Oh, I see Purple Love. Thank you, dear. Now, this is a piece of Blanco glass in that gorgeous cobalt blue. It had the original sticker here, and you can still see. So, not all of the silver. Somebody tried to peel this off, and they only got part of it off, so you can see some of the silvering is still there, but it's faint, and it says Blanco there, but it's also, I found it, where'd it go? It's also signed on the bottom. Blanco, oh, come on. Okay, so it's faint, but it's there. Blanco 2002. Now, this is what they sell as the water carafe, so that, you know, you'd fill it with water and then you could pour from either side because you've got the indent is on both sides. And it's a nice shape. That's why this has the indent, so that you can get a good hold of it and grab it. And they sell it as a water carafe. And no, they do not come with any kind of lid on the ones that they sell. You can find them in a couple of different colors of glass, but this is the one that the lovely cobalt that everybody really, really likes. So the Blanco is another offer, and we're going to start the Blanco at $8. It is signed Blanco 2002. It does have the remains of an original sticker. This one, when I got it, so this came from the estate of my friend. And when I got it, when she passed away, there had been flowers in it. So the flowers had sat, I don't know how long, but there were green leaves stuck on the inside. So I got it all cleaned up. It's all cleaned out of there. It looks lovely. She was using it as a vase, you know, and it's, but their actual Blanco actually calls them a water carafe. But most of the time that I've seen people actually using these, they use them as vases. But they are really, really beautiful. And they are a nice size. So they really make a statement piece, just even as a piece of glass. So it's 8.5. Nope, I take that back. 8.25 inches tall. It's 6.25 inches wide. And then it's 3 inches deep. It's 3 inches this way. So it is a sizable piece. And I see Purple Love at 11, Terry at 12. And it really, you know, Blanco is very sought after. And we all know that cobalt blue glass is really got its own collector's market of people that just want the cobalt blue. I see Purple Love at 13. It's in great condition. As I said, the only problem is that the original sticker up top here, someone had tried to peel it off, did not succeed, but you can still read it, but it doesn't have the same, you can see what the silver should be, and that part's part of the original, and then this rest of it is there and does say Blanco Company. And I see Purple Love for 18. But it's just lovely. And the nice part is like, because it's hand done glass, the way they do it, you can see the wavy lines within some of the glass. It's just gorgeous. Day Trip Vintage at 20. Thank you, Rose. Yeah, because Rose, I tried to find you earlier and I didn't think so. And I see Rose at 22. It is just a beautiful piece. Just love that blue color. I have a few small things that are cobalt blue. Yeah, I love wavy lines in glass. This is an old house, and the windows at the 1911 part, I will not replace. I don't care that they're 1911 and slightly drafty. I will not replace the windows at the front of my house because they all have wavy glass in them from 1911. So it's important to me for the historic value of the house to try to keep the front of the house looking as close to the original as I can. So I will not replace the windows there because they've all got the wavy glass still in them. But this is just gorgeous. Purple Love is at 23. Just a beautiful, beautiful piece. Signed and from 2002 on the bottom. So I see we're at 24 from Rose. And Day Trip is out. Terry is out. And so we had Purple is out. So we have Rose at 24 going once. Rose at 24 going twice. Nancy about to sneeze. And sold to Rose Spangenberg for 24. Congratulations, Rose. That's a beauty. Now you want to hear the horror story of where I found it? So I inherited a massive collection of books, right? But it took us 3 months to empty that house. And I would go after work and do nothing but pack up books and then come home with it until my car was full. I would spend the weekends there helping. They hired me to come down on the weekends and pack up more. It got to the point where they were just stuffing things just to get them out of there and giving them to me. That piece was underneath some books, in the middle of a box of books. It was just stuffed in there and had about 4 inches of paperback books on top of it. They had it in the middle of a box of books. Why would you do that? But because it was paperbacks, though, it really did kind of protect it. But it's, yeah. So anytime I open up even a box of books, if it was from the collection I inherited, I don't necessarily know what's going to be in there. But it's a beauty. It is an absolute beauty. I have another little dish that's a beauty. I can't keep everything. I really can't. One of the things I really love is flowering trees, and I kind of think they aren't quite dogwood. They kind of remind me of sakura, which is the Japanese cherry tree. But look at the shape of this dish with all this little indent edges. And, you know, when I hold it up to the light, I can see the light coming through the porcelain. So it's a really nice quality porcelain, but there's no maker's mark. A treasure in a box of paperback books. Yep. Oh, so this beautiful little thing. Can you see these gorgeous little hand-painted flowers? They're just beautiful. And then, of course, there's like the little branches with the little buds right there. But it's just gorgeous. It's a nice, really nice porcelain piece. And I can't imagine what it's for because of the unusual shape. You know, it's a very unusual shape. And these little indents, they're not uniform. They're not uniform all the way around. So I kind of wonder, it's like, what is that? Why would you hand make it that odd shape? I don't know. But it's just a darling little piece. And it looks like it really has, from the way everything's hand painted, it's really got that late 1800s, early 1900s look to it. I mean, I've seen pieces with painting like this. It's very hand painted, gorgeous, fine little stamens hand painted in. You know, can I get close enough? Can you see the little dots and the little lines of the stamens of the flower? It's really, really just a gorgeous little piece. And there's no scratches. There's no real wear to it, no chips. Just an odd shape. It's really, really gorgeous. And it's, I would say it really has, and with the shape, it's kind of almost got that Art Nouveau kind of vibe with the edges. But based on the colorings that are available for how it was painted, the style, and the shade of the gold, all this matters for trying to figure out porcelain. And I really think this is more that late 1890s into the early 1900s piece. So this one, what do I want to start you at? Because I didn't research this sucker at all. All right, so you know what? Let's do this as an offer, and we're going to start this at $5 and do it as a quick offer. We're going to start it at $5. It's such a cool shape. It really is just, I really wonder if I couldn't find a stand to just stand it like that or like this to just show off that gorgeous hand painting. So I see Tammy at 5. I see Purple Love at 6. Judy's at 7. It is It's 6.5 inches from here to the longest point there. And it's 5.5 inches from point to point this way. And I see Purple Love at 9. You know, like this really has that 1890s to like 1910 vibe going on. And the Art Nouveau thing really liked their angles and things not to be uniform. But I know from just so many other things that I've looked at, like there's a lot of porcelain stuff from the 1800s into that really early 1900s that I would see at the Delaware Art Museum, especially with the stuff that for like their pre-Raphaelite and early 1900s collection that they have. So I got to see this stuff a lot. And but it's got that vibe going to it. So I'm seeing Tammy at 10. Oh, Purple Love at 11. And I think oh, wow. Your mom found a sterling silver platter in a box of auction linens. I see Tammy at 13. Tammy is at 13. We have anybody else? Going once for Tammy at 13. Going twice for Tammy at 13. Purple Love is out. And is everybody else out? All right, then sold for 13 to Tammy. Thank you very much. It's a really lovely piece. I love finding stuff like that. I really like that 1880s to like into the 1920s kind of vibe. And I love pre-Raphaelite stuff. Which why working at the Delaware Art Museum was such a joy for me, because the pre-Raphaelite art gallery was right across the hall from the gift shop where I worked. And I could go walk in there and see all those gorgeous redheaded paintings in the pre-Raphaelite art. And it's the large collection of pre-Raphaelite art in a museum outside of England. So I have another thing. Now, I picked this up at Goodwill just because of the flower. It's definitely got a 1950s vibe going, but, and I'm pretty sure it's a transfer, but what a transfer in this bowl. No maker's mark, plain white. You wouldn't think much of it. And then you got that. Isn't that gorgeous? Or does it go this way? It's an orchid. I don't know what way they grow. Do they grow that way? They grow that way. Isn't that great? That is just such a gorgeous flower. It's beautiful. That is just such a beautiful, beautiful flower. Now, there is a spot. There's a spot right there. Now, that's not a chip. The transfer ripped a little bit and folded on the leaf. And while it's got some age, because you can see crazing to the white on the back, and you can see crazing on the inside. There's no scratches at all on the flower. That's really just a lovely flower. And there's her channel's not that big. What the devil is her name? I was going to talk about her tonight. Rochelle. Drawing a blank. That's bad. She's a younger lady. Oh, she's probably in her 20s, her mid to late 20s. And she's got the most incredible 1950s house. They have just finished redoing the kitchen. And let me tell you, this kitchen just walked its way right out of a 1950s magazine spread. So did her living room. And here is the link for Rochelle. Oh, shoot. I just had her name. But she's got this kind of stuff hanging on her walls. They have a 1950s television that they got rewired on the inside so that they could use it. Oh, darn it. I just had her name and lost it because I really wanted to recommend it. But she has dishes that are this kind of stuff. And there it is. Rochelle Anvik. I'll put her name with this. Where's my keyboard? There we go. There's the link for her. But you guys, if you like mid-century modern stuff, you really need to see her channel. And she's just got some neat stuff. And she has some stuff that has the big tropical flowers and orchids on them as some of her dishes. And they're not something you find here. Even she has said that these are usually she's out in Arizona, I think. But she's a trip, and she just got because she's also on Instagram. She had a chance to buy out a vintage clothing store. And she's been showing the outfits and modeling some of them on her Instagram. And there was an entire warehouse of vintage 50s clothing, 50s and 60s, that went with this store. So just to find her on Instagram and see these outfits is worth it. And her YouTube, to see her house, the tours she's done of her house, showing what she's got, it's amazing, amazing stuff. So, I mean, I found her by accident. And, it's one of those things where, I was just bored and waiting for someone, and I'm on my phone and just randomly searched. I think I put in a random search for a mid-century modern house, and it came up with her. So yeah, go take a look. She doesn't do a lot of videos, but what she's got is really good, and her house is awesome. She even has a tiki bar in her house. And wait till you see it. I really kind of want that. Actually, I want the skeleton she's got hiding in there. So anyway, I got way off track there, but I did want to, she's just a cool, and this bowl just really reminds me of her. So, the wonderful orchid bowl, is just $4 for the orchid bowl. There's nothing wrong with it other than there is some crazing. And then, like I said, where the transfer had folded. And it's number 9 for the orchid bowl. It's $4, number 9 for the orchid bowl. Where am I going to sit the orchid bowl? Well, we'll sit it over there. Yeah, I just, like I said, I just found her by accident, and that was just such a cool find. Her channel is just so much fun to watch. Well, that's the end of the tea. Now, we've done that. We've done that. We'll do the planters. Let's see about this planter. This planter is, oh, this is why it's annoying me. I don't have my loop. I can't read that other than it says Japan. So I know I should know that logo. So it's got the silver sticker. It's got the numbers up there. It's got what looks like a globe with dividing lines, and it says Japan. But there's a little bit of green over top of the other names. So I can't tell if it says Inarco or not. But, and honestly, if you guys don't want this, I will keep this. Because I used to play marbles, and one of my biggest regrets is the fact that I sold all my marbles in a flea market. Maybe that's what's wrong with me. I sold all my marbles in a flea market. That's probably what's wrong with me. But these boys are playing marbles. And those marbles are actual little dimensional marbles. It's fantastic. It's so cool. It is one of the coolest looking planters I've ever come across. And it's got high grass look all around the back, you know, and there's no indication there was ever a plant in this, ever. But it's really, really cool. And I'm not finding any chips or cracks. And it's got the Japan label, and it's just an awesome, awesome planter. You just lost all your marbles. I'll tell you, with this heater thing, I think I'm losing my marbles, and it's starting to get cold in here. But isn't that cute? That is really, it is the best planter I've ever come across. I've never seen one like that with two kids playing like that. And he just reminds me of, like, remember the early Archie comic books? Jughead used to wear a hat like that. But, and it's I mean, you see how big it is in my hand. So this is going to be an offer up. And this is going to start at $7 for the planter. But it's a nice big planter. And it's really, really adorable and cool. And it's 5 1/4 wide. How am I going to do this? It's 5 1/2 high. And then it's deep too. Let's see. So it's 4 3/4 front to back. And the planter opening is 2 3/4 from here to here. But being that this is so wide, you know what this is good for? This is good for this. You could put your mail in that. You know, the mail comes, you got stuff you got to handle, and so you can sit your bills in it. You can sit little notes in it. You know, I think it's really cool. And I really have to admit that this is the kind of thing that I would be tempted to sit on my desk just to hold note cards in it. You know, be very tempted. It would be very tempting. But if I kept and put on my desk every blasted thing I think of, it would be really cool like that. I'd have no room on my desk. Well, I don't have room on my desk yet anyway, but So I see, what are we up to? I see Rose at 16. It is very cool. I love that 1950s kind of look. Is that 50s into the 60s, those early days? I see Judy at 20. Yeah, I mean, I thought it would be a great idea because of how wide it is in the back. That you could sit some stationery in there. Just trying to see how big would you guys fit? Now you wouldn't because you're really wide. But yeah, I mean most note card stuff and a lot of other stationery, not the card that I grabbed because that's a really super wide one, but yeah, it'd be great to hold the mail on the desk. And so what are we up to? I see Judy at 20. Oh, I see Rose at 21, Judy at 25. Yep. See, I remember my Archie's comics. And see, I remember when they were comics, and then they were cartoon, and then they had comic books. I remember reading Archie comic books a lot. And so Judy is at 25 for this fabulous planter. Absolutely fabulous. I mean, I saw this. I saw it in a Goodwill and went, I must rescue this. This has to get saved and a home found for it because this is just too awesome. So Judy is at 25. So let's see. So, look, there's Rose at 26. I was almost about to start calling it, and Rose jumped in there with 26. Yeah, I've never seen anything quite like this one. I've seen plenty of planters on the resellers that are animals, baby planters, a lot of animals. Sometimes you find kids, but not like they're cutesy cute little kid, kind of cheruby kind of kid. These are two active boys playing a game. I've never seen anything like that. It's really, really awesome. So Judy was at 30, Rose is at 31. Yeah, I've heard there's a Riverdale TV show. I haven't seen it yet. But what are we up to? Judy is at 35. I don't usually find anything that cool at Goodwill either, but you know what's happening, because my local Goodwill is just nothing. So Rose is out. So I believe that leaves us with Judy. Judy at 35. So Judy going once at 35. Judy going twice at 35. And let me carefully sit it way back there. Well done, Judy Reardon. Thank you so much. What happened to my... All right, Judy Reardon. Thank you, thank you. I think I need to refresh my laptop here because it's acting wonky tonight. Thank you very much, Judy. And that is an amazing find. You know how I found that though is they closed the Goodwill near me. But that left me with this little one that's never great and overpriced. I found that at the one that's around the corner from Philly Flipper. So every time I've taken a carload of stuff, it literally is 5 minutes from his warehouse to their front door. So every time I've taken a carload of stuff, if I'm that close, I'm stopping in. And I think that's helped because then I've found that. And normally I might get up to them maybe twice in a month, but now I've been up sometimes 2 days in a row during the week and just happened to be there at the right time, the right place. Saw that, went, I have to save this. This is just too awesome a piece. And everything I sell is going into that heater fund because I'm still in limbo knowing, do I get a grant? Do I get a partial grant? Is it all going to be that I have to pay for it? Do they have a heater? I've heard nothing other than I did get the letter stating that they had gotten my online application for Crisis, and I got that 10 days after I had already put in that application. So I see some of the stuff in the chat. Yes, there are schedules that tell when they try to catch the regular timed lives sales on that schedule. And I know there's something, it's on Angela's, so it's on Angela's Instagram. What is a lust of names? What is going on in my chat? A lust of names? Gabrielle, what are you doing? Yeah, I have trouble with names, and I found my little file cabinet thing. I have a miniature file cabinet. It's about that high, and it's meant to hold business cards, but I need to find some blank business cards that I could then file, like put a little card that's got everybody's who's registered with me, their little name and their YouTube name and all their information, and have it in there, because it's either that or I need to find one of those old Rolodex things because I need to keep track. But yeah, it helps to have that calendar. It's a lusty list of Vinnies on it. Oh, yes, definitely. What else do we have? We didn't do... Okay, we didn't do that. Now, I've been debating if I should do these together or separately. So these are those great baskets, handmade in the Philippines, that have, and I can't remember the name of it, but they have that thin colored, it's almost like a type of raffia. You can really, it looks really nice on that end. The little one, now that side looks, the green looks a little scorched. And the little one, you could tell, has a little discoloring there. And then this one has a little bit of wear starting on some of the little pieces. But where's the other one? That one's got a little wear to it. But it is kind of nice in that it's a pair. You know, and I know these are very, very 1950s, and they work great because you could sit a casserole dish, you know, take the casserole dish, you could sit it inside these and then carry it to the table. You know, so you could put your little Pyrex dish in these and carry it out to the picnic table in the backyard, or that's what I remember and I didn't have them from my grandmother. I picked these up just because they are 50s and cool. And it was a matched pair. So you can put that in there. And I remember my grandmother having a set, and when they'd have the picnic in the backyard, she would have some casserole and she'd put it in there. So the little one is 10 by 7, which is an odd little size. And the big one is 8 1/4 by 12. So I don't know. Yeah, that's only 8 1/2. Good night, Tammy. Yeah, my voice is about shot, so we got one last piece of glass to do. Hello, Miss Pamela. So if you have, I mean, I know some of the older Pyrex or even some of the older casserole things, you could put that in there. But it is a matched set. It is a pair, and they have the exact same. They have the same kind of decorations and the same colors of decorations around them. And yeah, you could use them for rolls or chips. The inside of the little one has those little marks. The inside of the big one's perfect. They both have their little fabric label that says handmade in the Philippines. And so the pair of them, so it's $8 for the pair. Since you are getting both. It's $8 for the pair, and it's number 30. So it's $8, number 30 for the pair of the vintage baskets for your casseroles, for your bread, whatever you need them to be for. $8, number 30. All right. Ugh. We have 2 things of glass left. One is heavy. It's 8 pieces in the original box. Anchor Hawking 8-piece serve-a-snack set in the original box. Now you could see that cover had some tape over the front. It is this great grape pattern. And this little round spot is where your little cup, and it's a little punch cup. So your little punch cup would go there. And then you'd have this for all your sandwich or for your little tidbits. I like the fact that if you look at the handle actually has some indents to it to try to make it look like the branch of the grapevine. Now, it's a little dusty because I didn't get a chance to wash these, but it's in the original box. It's still got all of the, I don't want to rip it. Come here, you. It's still got all this corrugated paper is still separating every little piece. Let's see if I can carefully hold this up. So everything inside is still original. I don't think it was ever taken out and used. There's not a scratch or a mark other than a little bit of dust on the pieces. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous set. I do know that my one great aunt and uncle used theirs, and she had a set, and she would make lunch for her, for Aunt Harriet would make lunch for her and Uncle George, and usually it was my brother Gary and I that were up there. And it's clear glass, and she would put tomato soup in these little things, and you would get your little cup of tomato soup in the winter and a sandwich, and she would make it all and then tell you to come get your lunch, and we would be allowed to take it and go sit in the sunroom instead of having to sit and eat at the kitchen table. And we could go sit, and there it was basically was this really warm glass thing. Not an aviary, that's birds. But it was the sunroom, and it would be warm in the winter, and she would use it for that. And yeah, and I like the fact that these are dimensional. These are all dimensional, all the grapes and the leaf pattern. So it's smooth on the top, but all this is dimensional on the back. They're really, really nice. But yeah, I grew up with great aunts that, well, Aunt Harriet wasn't part of that. She married into the family. But I grew up with great aunts that their mother had gone to finishing school. So the older daughter had also gone to finishing school, and I think so did my grandmother, and I think Annie Floss did as well. And so I had to learn all of that stuff. So you learn from a young age to be really careful with things and the proper way to do this and that. And yes, I did have to sit up straight in the chair, but not let your back actually touch the chair. I did have to learn how to set a table, and all I can remember now is if there's that much silverware, you start from the top down and the outside in. That's more than I can remember now. But it's a great set, and it's all in the original box, and it's an offer up. It's fabulous. But we're starting this. It's Anchor Hocking. It's the original box. It says Lancaster, Ohio on the side. So we're going to start this up. And that's the only thing really wrong is the outside of the box. There had been a tape mark where it had been taped shut. And you can see there's a lot of scuffing and wear. So this gorgeous set is so we're going to do this as an offer up, and we're going to start this at $10. You know what else is cool about this box is that this box actually has a cutout, and I'm not going to pop it. So this was a display box. She actually pops up. It's cut all through here and all around to here. So it meant that you would be able to pop this part up and refold the box so that she would stand up this way. So this is actually made to be a display box. Can I get you close enough to see how? Can you see it? You see the line right there? So this was meant to fold up, and then you would tuck this piece back in here. so that she would stand up. So this is actually made to be a display box. Probably the display box in the store. But it's great. It is a great, great set. So it's an offer up starting at $10. There's, it's an 8-piece set in the original box. Don't think it's ever been used. Anchor hocking, great pattern. And so carefully put that in there. All right. I don't see any takers. Oops. Oh, I don't see any takers for that one. I have to admit, I did wonder about putting that up simply because the shipping on that's going to be heavy. All right. Now, did we do everything in the box? Well, we didn't do the Tom and Jerry. Yeah, and honestly, something like that, if I knew you were going to be in the Philadelphia area anytime in the next 3 months, I'd probably hold it for you and let you figure out how to take it home with you. Let's see, did we do everything in the box? We did the planner, we did the little elf, the pixie, we did the Bohemian Glass, we did the bird. We didn't do the Tom and Jerry glasses. Okay. We were talking about this at another live. It's the last piece of glass. Now, I've seen wall hanging violin bottles. They are not the same as this. This one is extremely detailed. And we had a debate about, now the bottom of this looks like it says Nello Corey, but somebody found it online that night that that's supposed to be a G, that it's Nello Gory, and it just says patent on the bottom. But look at the detail to this. There's detail to the base. There's detail to the edging. You've got your bridge piece here and the strings as well as the lines for the opening. And it goes all the way up, and it even has the tuning pieces for the violin and a really old cork that I am afraid to touch. Try to get it out of there because I don't want it to break. It's already showing issues on the back. So this is the last piece for the night. Good night, Gabrielle. And like I said, this one is really, really cool. I have the ones that came later that are not as detailed as this, that you would hang on the wall. Yeah, this is a liquor bottle. This would have been a liquor bottle. This is not the vases that they came later, that they did in different colors, and they either would come in a metal. One grandmother had ones that had a metal stand that actually would hold the bottle up as a vase on the wall. And the other ones had, okay, Nettie, well, I'll show the Tom and Jerry ones after the liquor bottle here. But the other ones that came in the 50s weren't as detailed, and they were wider, and I remember them coming in blue and I think in green. But this one is just a great liquor bottle piece. It doesn't, I didn't check this one. I don't think it glows, but it is slightly like between yellow and amber. And it's really just a really awesome bottle. The only flaw is on the bottom, there's a chip here on the base. But when you have it sitting there, you can't see it at all because it's back here. So you might see it from the back a tiny bit, but you're not seeing it all in the front. So it is a great, great piece. So Nello Gori Chianti. There we go. So this one's an offer up. And we're going to start this at $7. It's an offer up. It is well worth the $7 for the detail. It's just gorgeous. It's the bottle itself is 9.5 inches tall. That's not including the cork. That's the bottle itself. 9.5 inches tall. The base is 3.5 inches wide, but it's just gorgeous. It really is just a beauty of a bottle. Even the back has this edging detail to it, and it's got this neat little fan piece. It's so hard to get it to reflect right so you can see the details, and there's a little edge here to it. They really worked hard to make this look cool. And I love at the top that it actually looks like the strings come up and curve to the tuning keys, which is really cool because there's a little line to each one. And then when you follow those lines down, they do become the strings. So it's really gorgeous piece. And I see Terry is at 10. It's really lovely. And I've not found another one ever. Other than, I mean, you can find them online, but I've not ever seen one like this out in the wild in any thrift shop, in any antique store. I've never come across this. Auntie Christie is at 12. Like I said, I've come across the vase ones. I've come across the vase ones in blue, in green, and I've come across them periodically over the years, but they don't have the detail this bottle does. This bottle's just a great looking, really detailed bottle. And I'm seeing Purple Love 13. Terry is at 14. It's a gorgeous one. Now, I don't think you're going to find these in the wild too often. Wait, there's a banjo one? You mean like there's a banjo one of these that was the liquor bottle? Ah! I see Auntie Christie at 16. Okay, so the reason like that's blowing my mind, a banjo bottle, is a friend of mine. I see Terry at 17. So a friend of mine is named Zoe Mulford, the transatlantic folk singer. That's the Facebook page for her. If you search Zoe Mulford on YouTube, you'll find a fair bit of her. She got into the news big last year. I see Auntie Christie at 18, Terry at 20. And she wrote a song called When My President Sang Amazing Grace. And Joan Baez, the folk singer, is doing her retirement tour before the pandemic hit. And she did a cover of Zoe's song, When My President Sang Amazing Grace. Zoe is a fantastically talented folk singer, and she plays, among many other instruments, she plays the banjo. And I see Auntie Christie at 21. I would love to find a banjo bottle and give to her. But Zoe has a great song too about a glass, and it just screams about us resellers. Terry at 22. Oh, Katie, you've heard that song? Yeah, it's a if you can find Zoe's recording of it that she did, somebody filmed her singing it at the Unitarian Church in Media, Pennsylvania. And the acoustics in there are gorgeous, and you could hear her sing it live at that church, and it's just a stunning song. They've actually last year made a children's book out of the song. So, but she has a song about a glass. Can't remember the title of it, but it's all about how family heirloom gets handed down. So I see Terry at 22 and Auntie Christy is out. So we are going once for Terry. Going twice for Terry. And sold to Terry for 22. Congratulations, Terry. Oh. And that's a gorgeous one, Terry. There you go, darling. But this song that Zoe has, cannot think of the name of it. But she has one song that's about the family heirlooms, about how important it was to use them. And by the time this thing gets down to her, all that's left is a single glass. And it talks about, you know, when you have these pieces, you should use them and love them. So which president is she singing about? She's singing about when President Obama went to the church. There was a black church that a young man went in, and he went into the service, and then he shot them all. He shot up a lot of people, and children and old people at the service. And she just it shocked a lot of the world that this happened. And it was during President no, it's Zoe Mulford. Mulford is her last name. But at the President Obama at the time went to the memorial service to speak. And, you know, what words are there when something like that happens and children die? And it's just, there's no words. And he had a hard time finding words. And he mentioned in his speech that one of the things that really at those times brings people together is their faith. And he started singing Amazing Grace, and everybody joined in. And if you've ever seen the recordings of that service, because they televised it at the time, it was incredibly touching. And it touched Zoe enough that she wrote a song about it. And it is one of her more emotional songs that really kind of hit a nerve in some way. But she also has a lot of really fun songs. And so the last thing, since I wasn't going to show these because I didn't think anybody would want them, but I am gonna show these, and we'll see if anybody wants the because this is a pair. I have two of the Tom and Jerry Welch's, says Welch's all across the bottom, and these don't have their lids. These are from 1990. They've never been used. They're all still nice and shiny. But I have a pair of the Welch's glasses from Tom and Jerry. And So we have the pear, and the pear would be, these aren't as old as Foghorn Leghorn, I don't think. So for the pair of them, it would be $7 for the pair. They're in great shape because you have Tom on one and Jerry on the other. So you at least then would have both of them. All right, so $7 for the pair, and it's number 45. $7, number 45 for the pair of Tom and Jerry glasses from Welch's Grape Jelly. They're in great shape. Nettie, you really like these glasses. You're really into these, aren't you? These are cool, though. Somewhere in the house, I have grape jelly glasses from the Archies, and I have Sabrina. I don't know that I'd part with Sabrina the Witch if I could find that one. I know I have them somewhere. I know they're packed away. When I got my nephew, technically Mike's my nephew, he was 2 years old when I got custody of him, the Sunday before Christmas. Quite a Christmas present. So, you know what happens when you become instant mom to a 2-year-old and you have nice little breakable things? You put them on a higher shelf. And then you find out that the little bugger knows how to climb or is strong enough to move furniture to get to what he wants. So you pack everything away. So, oh, did you pop over to listen a little bit to Zoe? Yes, Zoe has a gorgeous voice. I've known Zoe since we were teenagers. And she and I were both in Young People's Theater Workshop, which was and is still going on, is a special training ground for children in theater. We actually had permission from Norton Juster, who wrote The Phantom Tollbooth, to actually do a musical based on his show. And she wrote all the music for it. I still have the reel-to-reel tape deck, but the pandemic hit, so we didn't find anywhere yet to get that transferred to CD because there's so many of us from that show that want her music. She thought all that music was lost. She didn't know I had the tape. We decided to liberate the tape at the time because we found out that the theater was actually just like overlapping all our stuff from our shows, from the kids' shows. So we didn't want her music to be lost back then, and so we liberated the tape. And here I still had it in my cedar chest all these years later. So, so we have to take care of that. She has a lot of fun songs, though. She actually has a pirate song about a woman pirate. And she said that she thought of me when she wrote that. Considering the pirate collection I've had even before I discovered Gilbert and Sullivan and the Pirates of Penzance, not surprised. So yeah, if you can look up Zoe Mulford, she does have some great music, and I have to get a hold of her. She's called the Transatlantic Folk Singer because she lives in England, but she also comes back here a lot. Her father is still alive, and he is a tenured professor. I think he's professor emeritus now at Swarthmore University. So she's back here a lot, seeing her dad. And she tours in the US a lot. Oh, Nettie, I love the pirate flag. I love pirate stuff. I've always liked pirate stuff. I'm just such a geek over some things. Pirates and Robin Hood stories, and you know. I do. You know, one of my Boy Scouts, I miss this kid. He used to jokingly at summer camp would always come up and go, "Is it story time yet?" Because they all know with me that especially the teenagers, they can pick my brain over anything. And a lot of them are Doctor Who fans, but they only know the reboot of Doctor Who, whereas I know all the old Doctor Who. So I really get my brains picked on that. They've just, the ones that like history like to pick my brain on that stuff. And you have, oh yes, you do have a couple of pirate museums, Katie. They have the only existing Blackbeard flag. Katie, do you know what I live near? Blackbeard's house in Marcus Hook. I live near that. I went to, yes, we have wrenches, not wenches. I don't know. I still go by the title wench once in a while. We have a house in Marcus Hook that they've actually, when they started doing renovations on the house and had to tear up the floor, they found out that there had been another house underneath. And they just kind of sat this newer one on top of it because they were going to put a basement in. And then they did an archaeological dig, and they've actually been able to prove that it was Blackbeard's house underneath there. So they even have a pirate festival now in Marcus Hook to go with all this history that they've come up with in the last decade. So it's really cool. But it was funny is when I was down in the Florida Keys and I was at one of the pirate museums that's down there. And then we were at another one, which is a museum that was in Key West, which was this guy's collection of stuff that he had found from wrecks and some gorgeous gold and emeralds and all kinds of stuff. But as we come around the corner of this one thing, I see Marooned, which is a Howard Pyle painting. Okay. And then I come around and turn around and, oh, look, there's another pirate painting of done by Howard Pyle of the Flying Dutchman. And then I kept looking, and there's another and another and another. And I'm laughing because it's like we went all the way down to Florida. And what do I see? I see all the stuff that I spent 6 years walking through the gallery at the Delaware Art Museum, seeing the original paintings. So if you're ever in the Wilmington, Delaware, Philadelphia area, it is worth it to go. And you can find the website for it too, of Delaware Art Museum. The website is delart, all one word, DELART.org. What we think of the view of how pirates look was all created by one artist, Howard Pyle, who was from the state of Delaware. And the Delaware Art Museum has a big collection of his pirate paintings. When Disney started doing Pirates of the Caribbean, they came and they wanted to see the paintings, and they took pictures of it to get ideas for costumes. Well, then when they knew they had a franchise that was going, they came back and wanted to see every sketch in the archives, everything that Howard Pyle did for pirates. So they actually have one scene in one of the movies where Jack Sparrow is being chased by the indigenous people that think he's a god, and they're running along the beach, and there's this big cliff face on the edge of the shot. That actual image is a painting that they kind of swiped that's at the Delaware Art Museum, and it's just so cool. So in St. Augustine. Oh, okay. So that's the one they moved from Key West. So it's probably one of the ones I saw. Key West is kind of getting waterlogged in a lot of the little islands down there. They're going to be moving a lot of stuff over time. So, but that's, unless anybody's interested in the frog I showed, because he didn't sell last week. That's everything I've got tonight. So, and my voice is going. So it's been a great evening. Thank you all. I know it was a little bit different in that I didn't have set prices on a lot, but it's just because I just didn't have any time left to try to research and really find out what prices would be fair to set. And I'm really out of my depth with glass. I'm completely out of my element trying to deal with glass. So I'm much happier sometimes when I can just let you guys set the price. So I hope you all had fun and enjoyed it. Yeah, there's always so much to learn. There's always a lot to learn. If you're not learning something new, life is just boring. So I hope I had a great show. But I'm also getting cold. So I'm going to go to bed. I've had my meds. I think I'll get some tea with some honey in it because my throat hurts. And I hate neti pots, but they're a useful tool when you have allergies like mine that are dust and mold to rinse your sinuses out. So you guys have a good night. And I'll warn you now that whatever week it is that I actually have a heater when they come to repair it, that night will either not be live or it'll just be a chat, because there's just so much that's got to happen for that heater whenever we find out if I'm getting one, or if I am getting one. There's so much that has to happen. And like Mike said, with my luck, it'll be on a Thursday. If that heater ends up coming on a Thursday, there won't be a live that night, and I'll put it on my Instagram. But so that's that. Oh, the only other thing, and I'll let you know about that it's coming, and there will be a very special unboxing. My kid did something awesome today. So there's a YouTube channel. Yeah, now I've forgotten his name. Mr. Buys a Lot. Okay. Mr. Buys a Lot just does, he just sells stuff for resellers to sell. My son, I was getting a shower, and my son left a message sitting on my phone saying, "You need this, and I'll pay for it." Well, it's about 120 or so pieces of vintage reproductions of incredible vintage 19, well, no, not even 19s. So it's a company called Shamer. They're out of business now. They were huge in the 80s for making reproduction stuff of Victorian decoupage stuff, Victorian Valentines. It's just stunning. And there's going to be about 120 pieces of this stuff. It's new old stock of their stuff from the 80s. And my kid bought it for me. And he, like he said, you can resell any of it you don't want, that you could resell it to your YouTubers and make a profit for the heater. But it's $150 for this big old box of this stuff. And there's over 100 pieces of this stuff. It's going to be awesome. So when it gets here, we're going to do an unboxing and find out what's in it. I'm going to wait and not look at it. He said, you've busted your tail. And you've been fighting the depression that usually goes along with too much stress for me. And this is a massive gift from him. And it's just so sweet of him. And I can't wait. I was feeling really, really crappy earlier today, and he did it this afternoon. and I can't wait. I can't wait. So you guys, that gives us something to look forward to. Even though my schedule could be total chaos next week, I don't know. I hate being in limbo like this, but I at least have something that we can have fun with and look forward to. So I'll let you know when that comes. You guys have a great night. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Stay warm. If any of you are where that snow is hitting, because that snow's in Colorado now, it's just going to move its way across. Philly Flipper told me that he saw a long range forecast for us, and while it was 69 or 70 today in my area, PA, we might see he thought supposed to see snow next week. So you guys have a great night. The voice is really going, and I hope I'll see you all next week. Have a good weekend. Bye.